PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds (PUBG) is an online multiplayer battle royale game developed and published by PUBG Corporation, a subsidiary of South Korean video game company Bluehole. The game is based on previous mods that were created by Brendan PlayerUnknown Green for other games inspired by the 2000 Japanese film Battle Royale, and expanded into a standalone game under Green's creative direction. In the game, up to 100 players parachute onto an island and scavenge for weapons and equipment to kill others while avoiding getting killed themselves. The available safe area of the game's map decreases in size over time, directing surviving players into tighter areas to force encounters. The last player or team standing wins the round. PUBG was first released for Microsoft Windows via Steam's Early Access Beta program in March 2017, with a full release in December 2017. The game was also released by Microsoft Studios for the Xbox One via its Xbox Game Preview program that same month and officially released in September 2018. Pubg Mobile, a free-to-play mobile game version for Android and iOS, was released in 2018, in addition to a port for the PlayStation 4. A version for the Stadia streaming platform was released in April 2020. PUBG is one of the best-selling, highest-grossing and most-played video games of all time. The game has sold over 70 million copies on personal computers and game consoles as of 2020. In addition to PUBG Mobile accumulating 1 billion downloads as of March 2021 and grossing over $4.3 billion on mobile devices as of December 2020. PUBG received positive reviews from critics, who found that while the game had some technical flaws, it presented new types of gameplay that could be easily approached by players of any skill level and was highly replayable. The game was attributed to popularizing the battle royale genre, with a number of unofficial Chinese clones also being produced following its success. The game also received several Game of the Year nominations, among other accolades. PUBG Corporation has run several small tournaments and introduced in-game tools to help with broadcasting the game to spectators as they wish for it to become a popular esport. The game has also been banned in some countries for allegedly being harmful and addictive to younger players. The game's concept and design was led by Brendan Green, better known by his online handle PlayerUnknown, who had previously created the Arma 2 Mod Days Battle Royale, an offshoot of popular Mod Days and inspired by the 2000 Japanese film Battle Royale. At the time he created Days Battle Royale, around 2013. Irish-born Green had been living in Brazil for a few years as a photographer, graphic designer, and web designer, and played video games such as Delta Force, Black Hawk Down, and America's Army. The Days mod caught his interest both as a realistic military simulation in its open-ended gameplay and started playing around with the custom server, learning programming as he went along. Green found most multiplayer first-person shooters too repetitive, considering maps small and easy to memorize. He wanted to create something with more random aspects so that players would not know what to expect, creating a high degree of replayability. This was done by creating vastly larger maps that could not be easily memorized, and using random item placement across it. Green was also inspired by an online competition for Days called Survivor Gomez, which featured a number of Twitch and YouTube streamers fighting until only a few were left. As he was not a streamer himself, Green wanted to create a similar game mode that anyone could play. His initial efforts on this mod were more inspired by the Hunger Games novels, where players would try to vie for stockpiles of weapons at a central location, but moved away from this partially to give players a better chance at survival by spreading weapons around, and also to avoid copyright issues with the novels. In taking inspiration from the Battle Royale film, Green had wanted to use square safe areas, but his inexperience in coding led him to use circular safe areas instead, which persisted to Battlegrounds. When Days became its own standalone title, interest in his Arma 2 version of the Battle Royale mod trailed off, and Green transitioned development of the mod to Arma 3. Sony Online Entertainment, now the Daybreak Game Company, had become interested in Green's work, and brought him on as a consultant to develop on H1Z1, licensing the Battle Royale idea from him. In February 2016, Sony Online split H1Z1 into two separate games, the survival mode H1Z1, Just Survive, and the Battle Royale like H1Z1, King of the Kill, around the same time that Green's consultation period was over. Separately, the Seoul-based studio Gino Games, led by Chong Han Kim and who developed massively multiplayer online games (MMOs) for personal computers, was acquired and renamed Bluehole Gino Games by Bluehole in January 2015, a major South Korean publisher of MMOs and mobile games. Kim recognized that producing a successful game in South Korea generally meant it would be published globally, and wanted to use his team to create a successful title for personal computers that followed the same model as other mobile games published by Bluehole. He had already been excited about making a type of battle royale game after he had played Days in part, but the format had not caught on in Korea. He also wanted to make this through an early access model and have a very limited development schedule to get the game out as quickly as possible, while treating the product as a games as a service model to be able to support it for many years. In researching what had been done, he came across Green's mods and reached out to him. In July 2017, Bluehole partnered with social media platform Facebook to provide exclusive content to Facebook's gaming channels as part of their push to provide more gaming content for its users. Around the same time that Green left Sony Online, Kim contacted and offered him the opportunity to work on a new Battle Royale concept. Within a week, Green flew out to Bluehole's headquarters in Korea to discuss the options and a few weeks later, became the creative director of Bluehole. He moved to South Korea to oversee development. According to Green, this was the first time a Korean game studio had brought aboard a foreigner for a creative director role, and while a risk, he says that his relationship with Bluehole's management is strong, allowing Green's team to work autonomously with minimal oversight. The game's main musical theme was composed by Tom Selta, who was personally selected by Green as he and the team were looking for an orchestral electronic hybrid theme that would give players a huge build-up, keeping them resolutely determined until a match starts. Development began in early 2016 and was publicly announced in June, with plans to have the game ready within a year. Kim served as executive producer for the game. Bluehole started with a team of about 35 developers supporting Green's work but had expanded to 70 by June 2017. Green stated that many of these developers were voluntarily putting in longer work hours into the game due to their dedication to the project, and not by any mandate from himself or Bluehole's management. In addition to Bluehole, Green also credits Bohemia Interactive, the developers of Arma and Days, for support with motion capture animations via their Prague studio. With the rapid growth of interest in the game, Bluehole spun out the entire development for Battlegrounds into Bluehole Gino Games in September 2017, which was renamed PUBG Corporation with Kim as its chief executive officer. PUBG Corporation continued the development of the game and its marketing and growth, opening an office in the United States with plans for future ones in Europe and Japan. In August 2018, PUBG Corporation launched the Fix PUBG campaign, acknowledging that that game by then still had several lingering bugs and other performance issues. The campaign finished in November, with PUBG Corporation calling it a success as everything listed had been implemented by then. In March 2019, Green announced that he was stepping down as the game's lead designer, but would still serve as a creative consultant. Tae Sok-jang, the game's art director, would replace him. With Green relocating to PUBG Studio in Amsterdam, PUBG Special Projects Green stated that he believed the main Battlegrounds team was at a place to continue developing the game in the direction he had set to keep the game unique among the other Battle Royale games it had launched, and he wanted to try something not tied to Battle Royale but still multiplayer based. The move also put him closer to his family in Ireland. Following the Chinese publication deal for the Windows version, Tencent Games and PUBG Corporation additionally announced that they were planning on releasing 2 mobile versions based on the game in the country. The first, PUBG Exhilarating Battlefield, is an abridged version of the original game and was developed by Lightspeed and Quantum Studio, an internal division of Tencent Games. The second, PUBG Army Attack, includes more arcade-style elements including action taking place on warships and was developed by Tencent's Timmy Studio. Both versions are free to play and were released for Android and iOS devices on February 9, 2018. The games had a combined total of 75 million pre-registrations and ranked first and second on the Chinese iOS download charts at launch. Following a soft launch in Canada, an English version of Exhilarating Battlefield, localized simply as Pubg Mobile, was released worldwide on March 19, 2018. In China, Pubg Mobile had been awaiting approval by the government for an authorized release, during which the game could only be offered as a public test. However, Tencent's planned release was suspended due to the government approval freeze across most of 2018. By May 2019, Tencent announced it would no longer seek to publish Pubg Mobile in China, but instead would re-release the game under the title Game for Peace that readily meets China's content restrictions, such as eliminating blood and gore. A version meant for lower-end mobile devices which features a smaller map made for 60 players, Pubg Mobile Lite, was released on July 25, 2019. This had support for high FPS gameplay on multiple Android devices. The Chinese version of the app was again renamed Peacekeeper Elite in 2020. Support for 90 FPS gameplay was added for select OnePlus devices in August 2020. On the 6th of May 2021, the Krafton announced the relaunch of the game in India. Following the ban imposed by the government of India, the Krafton directly published the game instead of the Tencent as a newly named title which could only be accessed by users in India as Battlegrounds Mobile India. In March 2019, Battlegrounds was banned in the Indian state of Gujarat after the local government decided the game was too addicting and violent and an unnecessary distraction during exam season. A number of students caught playing the game were arrested as a result. The ban was not renewed in some cities in the state after March's exam season had ended. A similar ban was enacted in Nepal and Iraq in April 2019, with the cited reasons being that the game was harmful to children and teenagers. The ban in Nepal was shortly lifted by the country's Supreme Court, stating that the government could not enforce such a ban that interfered with personal freedoms without demonstrating why the ban was necessary. In mid-2019, Jordan and the Indonesian province of Aceh issued similar bans. On July 1, 2028, Battlegrounds was banned in Pakistan by Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, citing the reasons that the game is addictive, wastage of time, and poses serious negative impact on physical and psychological health of the children after receiving various complaints from different segments of society in Lahore High Courts. Directions to look in the matter. However, the ban is temporary till further orders from the court. The game continued to remain banned in Pakistan for a month. A meeting was held on July 30, 2020 between PTA and legal representatives of Proxima Beta who addressed the queries raised by authority and emphasized on continued engagement and a comprehensive control mechanism, after which the ban was lifted from Battlegrounds. Amidst the ongoing 2020 China-India skirmishes, the Indian government banned Pubg Mobile along with more than 100 other Chinese apps, most made by Tencent and NetEase, on September 2, 2020. asserting the apps were stealing and surreptitiously transmitting user data in an unauthorized manner to servers which have locations outside India. India was PUBG Mobile's largest market, with the country accounting for 175 million downloads and 24% of global users. That's it for today. If you like this video and subscribe for more content like this.